Peru has a long story of collectivism and mercantilism, a history with an unlimited state where all power was concentrated and represented by the interest of a privileged elite. As a result, poverty, terrorism, hunger, and death have been the adjectives to describe the landscape in the Peruvian highlands. Who would think that this setting would open doors to an outstanding economic growth? The best answer for this question is the power of ideas. And Andes Libres was born with that vision, to expand freedom values in the Peruvian highlands, the former bastion of the Shining Path and current heart of the communist movement and narco-terrorist groups. It is precisely in this area that there is an immense thirst for a message of freedom. 6 years ago, Andes Libres started in the enormous and ambitious effort to satisfy that thirst. Andes Libres has been training hundreds of students through regular classes. This educational process started slowly, began gaining the hearts of young people with a refreshing message on freedom and responsibility. From that process, the most talented students are selected to strengthen their commitment to freedom through personal teaching sessions. We have established lasting friendships and brought new leaders to the liberty movement, enlarging a sequence of change. Our new leaders are now teaching in our school. We organize seminars where we explain freedom perspective solutions to the still difficult problems our country faces. From these articulated educational efforts, we have been able to multiply our network outside to rural towns, universities, unions, chambers of commerce, media, and international organizations.
El curso para mí ha sido lo más importante que he recibido en toda mi vida porque me ha explayado el mundo a mi alrededor, me ha colocado en otra perspectiva, porque yo ahora por mi propio conocimiento sé lo que está bien y sé lo que está mal, y sé lo principal, lo que es conveniente para el país. El liberalismo es algo que he aprendido acá, porque anteriormente no tenía ese concepto en mi vida. Ahora sé que el liberalismo, de dónde viene, qué es lo que hace y hacia dónde va. También he aprendido que el liberalismo es lo mejor que podemos optar para que este país salga adelante, para que nosotros salgamos adelante.
Ser liberal es poder hacer lo que uno desea con su propiedad, con su persona, sin invadir el espacio o los derechos individuales de la otra persona. Ser liberal también es poder hacer con mi propiedad lo que yo deseo, sentirme dueño de lo que yo tengo y no que se ponga un dueño a nivel global o a nivel de sociedad, como en nuestro estado se hace, ¿no? Las comunidades, por ejemplo, no son dueñas de su terreno, no son dueñas de sus recursos. También entendí que ser liberal es entender que el gobierno tiene que ser pequeño. El gobierno no puede ser grande, porque cuando el gobierno es grande, tiene muchas funciones, no hace bien las cosas y expresa el poder de una manera desmedida.
Thousands of students in the greatest university in the Peruvian highlands have been able to attend a series of Andes Libres debates and conferences. We present a new shift in perspective from freedom champions such as Mrs. Hayek and Friedman before audiences of young students who only knew of Keynes and Marx. If Peruvian highlands are the heart of the communist movement, the root of their ideas is cultivated in the universities through failed role models and adversaries of the free society. By taking fearless steps ahead and before audiences hostile to freedom ideas, Andes Libres has offered support and alternatives to the many who were not enthusiasts of the collectivist thought. On this path, we intend to be vanguard of freedom in Peru. Peru is a country with rich culture and an indigenous background that many advocates claim is an inevitable reason that Peru must remain a collectivist nation. From that very population, they present an irrefutable example to support their assertions. Andes Libres has extracted the most rewarding experience on the power of ideas on the freedom philosophy. Many Andes Libres students are visiting rural towns and indigenous residents to teach the community leaders and authorities of the role of government on local economic development and the value of individual initiative to overcome poverty. Who would say that the freedom message sounds even sweeter in Quechua, the native language of the Peruvians?
Juventud, dicei cu kunang, municipio mo, te pego lugar a peonegro médico. Mas que capricho. Cada problemáticos, por ejemplo, que el Consejo Menor Conjunto y me engañan un echadero. Mala cancho popular, ni siquiera un jardín. Municipio seca y machaca cumple. Ya hay alcaldía pasan, cuando hay que preocupar mucho de manta.
Many of our dedicated Quechua-speaking students have traveled to deliver a friendly message to the hearts of the indigenous leaders, which explicates free enterprise and rejects the dependency on government. Our educational effort is not only focused in the highlands, we also influence the entire country. We have been able to speak in different regions, from the Peruvian coast to the Amazon. We have published numerous writings in Spanish and English. We participate with influential organizations and freedom champions. Our work has been published in many newspaper articles and magazines. We have been featured on local television programs where we have received achievement recognition. Our strong commitment to face the collectivist movement in the Peruvian highlands has been valuable to our adversaries in battle of ideas to declare their opposition to our endeavors. The Alba houses of the Venezuelan government's strategy plan to penetrate the poorest population in Peru was investigated by Congress after our research was featured on the covers of some of the most significant newspapers in the country. Andes Libres and our explorative efforts convinced the government to tackle the problem of the Alba houses here in Peru. However, it is from our intellectual rivals that we have received the most delicious recognition. One of the most prominent socialists in Peru indicated in an article of a prestigious national newspaper that Andes Libres was the representative of the ultra-right-wing offensive strategy based in Washington, D.C. Andes Libres is committed to the ideal of a free society. There is no greater satisfaction than the journey of walking step by step through road, mountain, and river to conquer, to encourage, and call the majority of Peruvians to walk with us down the path of freedom.